Rambo 1 Fox 3 short Bullseye 01536
Howdy guys, Roman here. In this video we are discussing setting up and using the Bullseye in the Viper from a systems perspective in addition to some of the TTPs regarding Bullseye usage. Use the timestamps below and jump around if you're already tracking on a topic. So big picture here, what is a Bullseye call? Simply put, it's a polar coordinate which can be used to expeditiously pass information. So from a known point, a magnetic bearing and range call can be used to accurately and quickly plot information. We aren't going to break down the ACC or do a GCI or Air Battle Manager fundamentals lesson here, but let's look at some of the calls and address some common mistakes. The alpha check.
Blacklist Zesty is back with you, Bullseye 06663. Since contact with Rambo, we'll pick up the long trail.
And Zesty Blacklist radar contact good alpha check.
The alpha check is often part of your TAC admin procedures during check-in. This gives you a chance to ensure a positive correlation and ensure that you are using the right bullseye. The picture.
Snake 1 picture.
Clubhouse, 3 groups. Group Bullseye 281 at 21, 36,000 hostile, track southwest. Group Bullseye 301, 54, 26,000 hostile, track northeast. Group Bullseye 262, 51, 15,000 hostile, track south, 2 contact.
The picture is passed over Bullseye format. The advantage here is that all friendlies get a situation update when calls are made in Bullseye. If every friendly element received an update via BRA format, that would be an extremely verbose exchange. Targeted and shot calls.
Rainbow 3, Fox 3, Bullseye 347, 43, 17,000.
Untargeted group Bullseye 319 at 22, 15,000, leans on Rambo 24.
Targeted and shot calls, at least for most Viper guys, are made with Bullseye. This lets the Air Battle Manager or Weapon Director know which groups have been targeted and where the weapons have been allocated. For friendly fighters listening in, they can use these calls in conjunction with the prior picture call to identify untargeted groups, correlate, and anticipate the state of the air war. Fixed.
Snake 36 fixed, Elvis 291, 42 targetable.
A fixed call is made as part of the find, fixed, track, target, engage, and assess contracts. It identifies the location of a SAM and uses a Bullseye format to rapidly pass the location to friendly aircraft. TRESPASS.
Rambo 552 Trespass 15 Bullseye 29635.
A trespass call is made by seed aircraft or C2 when a friendly aircraft has entered a not previously known SAM MES or missile engagement zone. MAGNUM.
552 Magnum 11 Bullseye 29846.
Just like the shot calls from air-to-air, a MAGNUM call identifies what emitter has been engaged with an anti-radiation missile. Correlating the call against the array of active emitters can help both fighters and strikers know and anticipate the tactical situation with regards to the hostile IADs. So these are just a few examples out of what could be dozens for both air-to-air and air-to-ground. So whether you're a fighter or a striker, it's critical that you understand Bullseye calls and how to use them. Remember, the Bullseye can be called with a code name such as Elvis or Rock when directed. When using a code name, make your calls as you normally would, but instead of saying Bullseye, use the code name such as Viper 1 Working 11 Elvis 34022. Some common errors people often make when using Bullseye are to report the location with a 4 before saying the distance, and to truncate the pro word Bullseye to Bulls or Bull. I'm looking at you, Eagle Dynamics. Truncating the word Bullseye to Bulls can be misinterpreted as a BRA call, so say the full word or pick a code word for Bullseye which is unique. Good airmanship and basic aviation teaches us to turn words like 35 into 35 and 64 into 64. You need to unlearn this for the distance component of Bullseye. Instead of saying the bearing for X distance and allowing your 4 word to be misinterpreted as the number 4, you should say the bearing as normal discrete digits, and then allow the range component to be a compound. For example, instead of saying Elvis 0464220, say Elvis 04620. Your friends will thank you. Okay, with that out of the way, let's look at the systems in the Viper. Okay, so now we're in the cockpit over the gorgeous South Atlantic map, and it's time to look at some symbology. Right now, Bullseye is not active, and I know this because I don't have my own ship Bullseye information in my HUD, nor do I have the blue symbology on my MFDs, and that's okay because let's look at some of the baseline symbology. Right now, steer point 1 is active, and I do have a bearing and range information on the left side of my fire control radar. And this is actually from my active steer point. So to kind of correlate this, north is kind of between these lines here. I see I have a northerly heading and range, 00525 on the cursor. And if I slew my cursor towards the east, we now have an easterly range, 07317. If I cycle this and make steer point 2 active, we see the bearing and range change. I now have bearing 16428, and if I slew the cursor to the north, we see a northerly bearing, 35026. Awesome. So that's okay, but I think you'll find Bullseye is more useful. And for that, we'll just go list 08, and then mode select 0, and now Bullseye is active. I have the Bullseye symbol on my HSD. I have my own ship Bullseye information by this blue symbology in the left of my displays, and I now have my own ship Bullseye in the HUD, which I find quite easy to read, Bullseye 13738. So the Bullseye is a waypoint which is pre-populated by default. If I go to steer point 25, we see the information and it pulls it right from the mission. I can override this and manually update the Bullseye. And also, I can actually set the Bullseye to any steer point between 1 and 99. And so to demonstrate this, let's update our Bullseye to steer point 2. And I'll just go dabber down, 2, enter. We see the symbology update. Awesome. Let's look at some of the symbology we have. We've talked about our own ship Bullseye information in the HUD. Let's look at our fire control radar. So with the fire control radar active, I slew it around and I see Bullseye information. This first group here, leading edge, Bullseye 35615. We could go look at this guy, Bullseye 29430. And let's look at our HSD. We have on the left-hand side our acquisition cursor, and we have Bullseye 29228. If I make the HSD soy and then slew, we have the HSD cursor. And now on the right-hand side, we have another Bullseye information for that. So here's an SA6 down here, and I could say, hey, there's a 6 Bullseye 11145. So that's pretty handy. Let's go to our air-to-ground master mode. And if we look at our HAD, Arm Attack Display, we can slew around our cursor and also get a Bullseye information. And this can be pretty useful for correlating emitters. If there's a 6 active or a friendly's trespassing an emitter, we can do that. So I hope that helps, kind of a quick look at Bullseye. And thanks for watching. If you liked this format and found it to be worth your time, let me know by liking, commenting, or subscribing below. See ya.